What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic Tuesday night. But it's Tuesday, so that means behind enemy lines with the Eagles' Week 16 opponent, the Washington Commanders. Now, just saw this team 5 weeks ago, but we're going to talk about how this team looks now, and we'll talk about the rest of the things that have changed with their roster, practice squad injuries, all that great stuff. You'll get to know everything about the Washington Commanders, and I would love to hear from you. You have any thoughts, any questions? Not a live video, but I'm always down to talk some birds, talk some ball, whatever it is, man, whatever you are a fan of. But you sickos out there, I know you've been enjoying this ride at 12-2. We got 3 divisional matchups to go, so let's sweep them. Now, the Commanders, they've been doing pretty well this year. So let's take a look at that. Let's see. And, obviously, if you're looking for anything like their draft picks, roster moves in the offseason, all that stuff, that was on the first behind enemy lines. We're not going to talk about that stuff again. You'll see that new players and all that stuff on the depth chart. So just so you know. But I appreciate you guys hitting that like button, sharing this bad boy, subscribing to the channel. All that stuff truly does help. Let's jump right into this bad boy. Let's take a gander how they match up with, the rest of the NFL when it comes to the stats, their rankings, and their standing. So their offense, surprisingly been really good. Rookie quarterback been really, really good. So you get 6th in points, 5th in total yardage, 3rd in rushing, 16th in passing, 21st in giving up sacks. So they've given up some sacks since we've last seen them, and a couple more turnovers. They were 1st when we saw them. Now they are 3rd in turnovers given away. Now, the defensive side of the ball, 16th in points, 11th in total yardage, 25th against the run, 4th against the pass, tied for 14th in sacks, 21st in turnovers there, tied with 1 per game. So, middle of the pack in some of these things, really good on offense. And it's weird. Usually it's their defense. So, they got a couple injuries, though. We're going to talk about all that, but they've been doing pretty well. And look, it has them 2nd in the division. You remember at the beginning of the year, everybody talked about the Commanders are so much better than the Eagles. Yeah, not so much. As I told you, stay patient and watch the Eagles fly right on by. And there we sit at number 1, and there are the Commanders at number 2 with the Cowboys and Giants at the bottom of the barrel. Now, when it comes to the NFC as a whole, the Commanders trying to hold on to that final wild card spot. Obviously, with us leading the division, we are there at number 2. But the Commanders trying to fend off the Seahawks there. Maybe the Falcons, maybe the Cardinals. Don't think the Niners or Cowboys are going to make anything happen. So that's truly, truly beautiful. But the Commanders, look, man, again, doing well. 9-5. Quite a turnaround there with their new head coach. So let's get to know this team. And before we get into the depth chart, we'll look at every other piece you need to know so you know all the ins and outs. But their coaching staff, Dan Quinn, been doing wonders there. But Cliff Kingsbury on offense, he's going to get himself a head coaching job here next year, I'm sure. And, plenty of opportunities are probably going to come his way. So remember, a lot of people wanted he to come here. And look, I love what Kellen Moore is doing, so I'm perfectly fine with it. But I think Kingsbury is one of those guys that has more of an opportunity to become a head coach somewhere. So a good OC, and then DC Joe Witt Jr., and then special teams coordinator Larry Izzo. But we all know Dan Quinn, the defensive-minded guy, been helping with Joe Witt, that defense. And look, again, middle of the pack with a lot of that stuff, but still a lot of talent. And we're going to talk about that here shortly. But before we look at the roster, here is their practice squad so you can know all the players on this team. And a few things have changed. Tyree Jackson there, you can see, former Eagle. Got a couple receivers, tight ends, a couple linemen. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you can see got a bunch of edge guys, got a couple of corners, a safety, and then they have kicker Greg Joseph, who actually kicked last week. They had their kicker inactive, Zane Gonzalez. So we'll see what they decide to do there with the elevations on Saturday. But here is their IR. These are the guys you will not see on this depth chart. Jonathan Allen has been there. He wasn't playing in week 11, but recently added Noah Brown and Austin Eckler, who obviously both played when we saw them. Noah Brown did nothing. Eckler helped them in the passing game. They will not be playing. Pollard still there. Yankoff still there. Austin Seibert now on the IR. So their kicker down and out. Unfortunate, but they're trying to figure it out throughout the NFL. Greg Joseph now there. Zane Gonzalez was their kicker. I think Matthew Wright might have been at one point. Who knows? They had so many injuries. Matthew Wright's played for a few teams. That was a joke. But let's get into this depth chart. Take a look at what this team looks like here. And as I mentioned, Ekeler there on the IR. That's obviously a big change for them. But Brian Robinson Jr. ready to rock. They got Jeremy McNichols there, Chris Rodriguez. Quarterbacks are still the same. Now at wide receiver, you talk about Noah Brown going to IR. Now Dyami Brown is the starting wide receiver. You can see Olamide Zaccheaus getting more work. You got Osborne, McCaffrey, Jamison Crowder is there. He is off IR now, so they got Crowder back. And then Ertz, who had a concussion this past game, we'll see how his health looks. On Wednesday, we will get the initial injury report tomorrow for both teams. Bates and Sanat still there. And then a little shuffle of the line. Cornelius Lucas, no longer the left tackle. Rookie Brandon Coleman has taken over there. And then the rest of the guys are the same as since the last time we saw them. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, a couple of changes. Javonte Jean-Baptiste, their rookie edge guy, he is now active. So they got a backup there, but the starters are the same. Linebackers still the same. And then in the secondary, Marshawn Lattimore was picked up but did not play against the Eagles. He's going to get an opportunity here to get smoked by A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Good for him. But they got rid of Emmanuel Forbes. You remember him? He got eaten alive. He was crying on the sidelines last year. You remember A.J. Brown did him dirty. But they do have Mike Sainer still there, and I thought that was a fantastic addition out of Michigan. Noah Igbinoghene there. He is somebody, who can start at nickel, can help you in the return game. A good pickup for them this year. So a little different there. He was starting last time we saw them. And you had Forbes in there as well. You had some different things going on. But safeties, all the same. Chin and Martin, Butler, Reeve. But Jeremy Chin just got himself a concussion as well. So we'll see if he's ready for this game. If not, probably be someone like Percy Butler taking the reins there. But on the special team side, as I mentioned, with Austin Seibert, I don't know why I have his name there. It's supposed to be Zane Gonzalez as their kicker. Maybe I didn't save it right. Whatever. Zane Gonzalez is their kicker, but he was inactive last week. As I mentioned earlier, Tressway there, Tyler Ott still, Crowder now the punt returner rather than Olamide Zaccheaus. And now instead of Ekeler at kick returner, you have Jeremy McNichols. So the returners are different this time around as well. So a few changes here. And look, again, just like I talked about when we played them the first time, the Eagles are the better team. I don't care what anybody says. And you remember the week before we jumped in front of them because they lost and it was, well, you'll find out. Yeah, they found out. And you're going to find out this Sunday, 1:00, when the Eagles whoop up on that ass. But if you have any thoughts, any kind of questions on this video, would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, got anything from it, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, share this bad boy out into the universe. All that stuff truly does help. And I cannot thank you enough for the support. I hope you're all having yourselves a great week. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out. You need a friend, you're going through whatever, you just want to talk some birds, whatever it is. I'm always here for you, as you are for me. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!